This is insane. A new Destiny 2 article just dropped stating that the Edge of Fate pre-orders are actually down 50% from the final shape. Let's jump into all the details here because that sounds absolutely awful. Despite major updates coming with Destiny 2's The Edge of Fate expansion, new fan analysis shows pre-orders are nearly 50% lower than the final shape. Destiny 2's next big expansion, Edge of Fate, is just a few weeks away, launching on July 15th. This expansion kicks off the new Year of Prophecy and adds some fantastic changes, including the portal, gear tiering system, armor stat overhaul, non-linear campaign, and more. This is also the start of Destiny 2 new content delivery structure with a free major update in between each expansion release. All right, it sounds like a solid step forward on paper, and a lot of longtime players seem genuinely interested in what the Edge of Fate has to offer, but many players feel that the excitement around this expansion doesn't seem to match what we've seen in past years. Now, some new data gives us a clear picture of just how low the engagement might actually be. Destiny 2 Edge of Fate pre-order data shows major drop. So a Reddit user named Testify shared a data-driven comparison between pre-orders for the Edge of Fate and the final shape earlier today. Using publicly available stats from warmind.io, a popular Destiny 2 stat tracking site, while not official numbers from Bungie, the data offers one of the clearest glimpses at pre-order trends we've got right now. All right, let's see what the data says. To track pre-order numbers, Testify looked at the number of Destiny 2 accounts that have unlocked the unique pre-order emblems tied to each expansion, external sites for Edge of Fate, and paracausal path for the final shape. Because these emblems are tied directly to purchasing the expansions, they work as a fairly consistent way to monitor pre-order interest over time. The Reddit user automated this tracking process and has been collecting data since March 2024, storing it in a database. Wow, so they've been on top of it. Let's see what we got here. So according to this graph here, you've got the yellow line, which is going to be the final shape. This is where we're at with the pre-orders. Obviously, you have a big spike around this period of time. And currently we have the Edge of Fate pre-orders, okay, where we're at right now, and we can create an upward trajectory. And then obviously there's going to be a big boost as well. So using a very similar, trajectory as we had before, we could see how things are going to go and where it's going to land at around 1.1 million, whereas final shape was at 2.1 million. So yeah, about half. And you can see there, it's about 53% in general. The comparison focuses on matching timelines, meaning it compares where Edge of Fate is now, about 3 weeks from launch, to where the final shape was at the same point before its release. The results aren't great. Edge of Fate is currently sitting at about 53% of the final shape's pre-order count at the same point in time. And if this pace holds, it could finish with nearly 1 million fewer player purchases than the final shape. That's a massive drop-off, right? Especially in just a 1 year's time. Here's the summary of what the analysis shows. Edge of Fate pre-orders are 47% lower than the final shape at the same point pre-launch. If trends continue, Edge of Fate is on track for around 1.1 million purchases compared to 2.1 million for the final shape in its first month. The percentage comparison, currently 53%, is updated daily to show how Edge of Fate is pacing against the final shape, and the analyst automated this tracking process and has been collecting data since March of 2024. Very interesting stuff. I like to see data like this. I like to see, what our predictions are before an expansion comes out and then what actually comes out, like how many people actually do end up buying it. Because right here it says, this isn't a perfect one-to-one representation of Bungie's actual sales numbers. Obviously, we can't predict the future. Emblem unlocks may not capture every purchase, and players may not have acquired the emblem from the special deliveries kiosk yet. Even if it's not official sales data, it's still one of the better ways we have to see how interested Destiny 2 players are in the new expansion, which is true. And there's been a lot of disinterest towards the Edge of Fate right now because Bungie seems to be really selling these quality of life updates as being the main focal point for the Edge of Fate. The problem is that those quality of life updates are free for all players. And while that might get some players relatively interested in playing the game, doesn't necessarily get them interested in purchasing the content for the Edge of Fate, right? There are a few reasons why Edge of Fate might not be generating the same kind of momentum. The final shape was the end of a massive 10-year storyline, a finale that had players waiting for years. It carried a sense of closure and payoff that naturally drew more attention. Of course, there's going to be an element of that. The final shape really was a momentous time in the Destiny timeline, right? However, we shouldn't say that just because it was the finality that it should be significantly more successful than everything else. It should significantly be more successful to start the launch launch of a new saga, right? I mean, we're essentially redoing what Destiny 1 was, or what Destiny 2 was at launch, right? Destiny 2 at launch was terrible. Like, it didn't do very well. But Destiny 1 at launch, we were entering a whole new era, right? A whole new, the unknown. And that should bring a ton of excitement, a ton of hype. Just to say that the final shape was the finale, so it's unfair to compare the launch of a new saga to the end of an old one, seems a bit like an odd comparison. If I'm being completely honest, people should be more excited and there should be more hype towards the Edge of Fate, towards the launch of a new saga, than the end of one, right? The launch of something new means that all these new players and new people can get in now for the first time ever and get to experience the start of something big, right? Like, if you enjoyed the final shape, or if you even heard about it, you're like, okay, that was a 10-year plan. Well, the Edge of Fate is meant to be a 6-year plan. So starting at the very beginning is going to be essential to understanding all the story elements and really feeling like you resonate with the story, right? If anything, I genuinely think that the Edge of Fate should be selling significantly better than the final shape, but it's nowhere near that. In contrast, the Edge of Fate is the start of a brand new saga, and while that's exciting in theory, it doesn't come with the same weight or urgency. On top of that, it's a smaller expansion by design, closer in scope to something like Rise of Iron, which might make it feel less essential compared to previous releases, maybe. And of course, there's a bigger picture. Trust in Bungie has taken a hit over the past year or so, especially after the major layoffs, the cancellation of other projects, and the absence of any sign that Destiny 3, which many players are hoping for, is even in development. Destiny 3 is not happening. If you're out there watching right now, currently, it's not happening. There's no one cooking up Destiny 3 as far as we know. Destiny 2 Edge of Fate weekly sales on Steam. If you need more signs that the Edge of Fate might be underperforming, just look at Steam's weekly top sellers list, okay? Between April 9th and May 7th, as well as the following weeks up until launch of the final shape, Destiny 2 showed up in Steam's top 20 best-selling games every single week. Now, comparing that to the same window for Edge of Fate, from May 20th to June 24th, the game hasn't made the top 20 at all. Wow, what a terrible comparison, right? Like, making top 20 week after week after week to not even being anywhere near that. Where's it at right now? 65? Destiny 2 was sitting all the way down at 65 on Steam's weekly top sellers list. That's a pretty noticeable drop. Yes, it is. Schedule 1 literally is above it. That's so too funny. Just this week, Bungie held a developer live stream for Edge of Fate, where it went over pretty much all the same things already revealed during preview events and content creator coverage, except for a thing or two, new weapon type. That led to a lot of backlash from fans who were expecting new information and reveals. I mean, you call it a reveal stream, we're meant to see some new reveals, right? Not just rehashing the stuff that we already know. So let me ask you this question, as they're saying here. Are you excited for the Edge of Fate? Have you pre-ordered? Have you purchased it? Or do you feel like something's missing compared to past expansions? Let us know your thoughts. If I'm being honest, this is an absolutely terrible way to start off the launch of a new saga. I was really hoping for more from Bungie, and I know that they as a studio were also hoping for more. The final shape came to a climactic and honestly an epic ending. I really enjoyed the ending of the final shape, and I was hoping that from there, they could begin a sort of golden age where maybe they could deliver a whole new saga, a whole new story, and maybe start off on a good note, right? And build upwards. But instead, it seems like we're going to be hitting a new all-time low with the launch of the Edge of Fate in terms of player population and interest. And that's a bit scary. Hopefully, Bungie actually has some hidden things that they're cooking up that will come out that will build the player base back up throughout this, calendar year, throughout Edge of Fate, leading into Renegades. Because as it stands right now, it is not looking very good for the future of Destiny 2. And that's something that I absolutely hate saying because I want Destiny 2 to thrive. I genuinely believe that this is such a great game, such a fun game. It's brought me so much joy, so much happiness, so many good memories, and excellent friendships, and an awesome community like you out there watching right now. I appreciate you for watching these videos, and make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on. If you enjoyed, smash the like button for me. I'll see you in the next one. Later.